So whether you're an atheist or you're a Christian, everybody has to answer this question when it comes to the universe. Why is there something rather than nothing? Now, atheist and doctor of physics at Arizona State University, Lawrence Krauss, says that nothing, whenever it's left to its own, will always become something. He basically says nothing is unstable, and since it's unstable, it is a part of quantum mechanics. And so whenever it's kind of left to its own, it'll always become something in these kind of quantic vacuums. But without getting too deep into it, quantum mechanics is something. So even if we just start at that point in life, how did that something get here? Nothing is nothing, and something is something, but they are not the exact same thing. So I want us to ask a question to ourselves. What is more likely? What's more plausible? That something came from nothing, or something came from something, as in someone, and that is God. So there's currently a planet that is flying around our solar system at this moment at 67,000 miles an hour. At the exact same time, it is spinning at 1,000 miles an hour. That planet is known as our green and blue little ball called Earth. Now, the Earth tilts at 23.5 degrees on its axis. Now, it's very important that the Earth does not become tidally locked, because one side of the Earth will be stuck facing the sun, becoming hotter and hotter and hotter, not being able to sustain life, or one side would be stuck facing the moon, becoming colder and colder and colder, not being able to sustain life. Thankfully, 60% of the Earth's gravitational pull comes from the sun, while the other 40% comes from the moon. We are in a perfect place. The Earth is in the perfect place to sustain human life. Now, we are 93 million miles away from the Earth, but if you think about it, what if one thing was off? What if we were 94 million miles away? Or what if the Earth did not tilt in the exact way? It is so clear that our Earth was fine-tuned by an intelligent designer, and that's God, and He loves you. Don't mind the dog. So I'm going to take you back to elementary school. You remember those things called atoms? Atoms are the most basic building blocks of matter. In the 1890s, a group of scientists led by a man named J.J. Thomson said, what if you could split an atom? The question was, what if they could split an atom down far enough that they could get to the most basic level of matter? Basically, getting to the most foundational part of an atom, which is in everything, would explain to them why everything was the way it was. Turns out they ended up agreeing that you could split an atom down to 100 different subparticles. One of these subparticles is called an exotic meson. In 1997, scientists discovered an electronic meson that appeared for a trillionth of a second, and then it was gone. They don't know where it came from, and they don't know where it went. Even scientists agree you can take a picture of the same atom seconds apart, and they don't know what it's going to do. There is always an assumption of predictability when it comes to the foundation of the universe. The universe at its core is made up of relational energy that we cannot control. God does. Stephen Hawking was one of the most important theoretical physicists of our time. He was also an atheist. He wrote a book called The Grand Design. On page 34, he says that this book is rooted in scientific determinism. This states that everything that happens is rooted in a prior natural cause. There's no free will. Matter of fact, on page 31, he says free will is just an illusion. If this is true, then anything we say or do is just a natural reaction coming from a chemical from our brain from a prior natural cause, which means we actually don't have control over ourselves at all. All of our thoughts, all the things we do are just reactions from our brain. We don't have any control over them. Now, I get it. Maybe if you've been hurt by religion or someone has completely manipulated you, you hate the idea of God. But what if there's a real God out there who created you and who loves you? I believe in that. If you ever want to talk, just shoot me an email or a direct message. God loves you. So I had a root canal today, so half of my face is still numb, so I'm going to be about 20% less handsome, but bear with me. Mortimer Adler was the famous American philosopher who wrote the book How to Read a Book in 1940. He found that the 5 most consequential questions in life to ask are 1, our origin, where did we come from? The second is identity, who are we? The third is meaning, why are we here? The fourth is morality, how should we live? And the fifth is destiny, where are we going? According to Norman Geisler, the answer to these questions depends on the existence of God. Basically, if God exists, that means that we have a meaning to our lives. And if we have a meaning to our lives, there's a right and wrong way to live our lives so that our choices affect not only our time here on earth, but also eternity. On the other hand, if there is no God, there is no ultimate purpose to our lives. And if there's no purpose to our lives, there's no right or wrong way to live our lives. It wouldn't matter how we live, our destiny would just be dust. But I don't believe that, neither should you. God loves you.